If you've ever wished you could just stop being an overthinker, you're not alone. You know the feeling of overthinking, endless loops of thoughts spinning in your head, replaying conversations, analyzing every detail, worrying about the future, perseverating on the past. Overthinking can feel like a constant mental treadmill, exhausting, yet seemingly impossible to step off of. And instead of helping us solve our problems or relieve our anxiety, overthinking is far more likely to pull us deeper into stress, doubt, and worry. So, in today's somatic meditation to stop being an overthinker, we're going to examine the emotional roots of our overthinking and begin to understand why we became overthinkers in the first place, so that we can actually make some real shifts and understand ourselves in a deeper, more accurate, and more compassionate way. Welcome to Somatic Healing Meditations, the podcast that helps you regulate your nervous system, deepen your healing journey, and feel better in your body. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm Karenna with Hello Inner Light, and I'm a trauma-informed emotional healing coach who's here to help you heal the old emotional wounds, subconscious blocks, and self-sabotaging core beliefs that are holding you back from living a life of authenticity and joy. So if that's the kind of content you need more of in your life, please subscribe to this podcast and join me every Friday on this beautiful journey out of your head and into your more embodied and authentic self. Today's episode is the second in a two-part series on how to stop overthinking. Last week, I guided you through a soothing and effective somatic practice to break the cycle of overthinking by dropping into your body and out of your head. So check that out if you haven't already. And this week, we're taking it deeper by really examining the feelings that exist below your habit of overthinking. So, most people are trying to stop overthinking by controlling or changing their thoughts. But that's like trying to turn a dandelion into a rose by simply gluing a rose to a dandelion. You're not working with the roots, so you're just fighting with the true nature of overthinking. What most people in our culture don't realize about our thoughts is that they're mostly happening in response to our emotions and body sensations. So, when we experience emotions such as anxiety, uncertainty, fear, or sadness, they manifest as physical sensations. For example, a knot in your stomach or a tightness in your chest. Often we might not even be consciously aware of these feelings. Instead, our mind kicks into overdrive trying to make sense of or escape from these uncomfortable feelings. And this leads to that familiar, incessant mental chatter and looping thoughts as the mind attempts to regain a sense of control and safety. However, overthinking doesn't effectively address the underlying discomfort of those emotions or body sensations. Instead, it keeps us stuck in a cycle of rumination, preventing us from fully processing and releasing these emotions. And this disconnection from our body hinders our healing journey because true healing requires us to feel and process our emotions rather than merely think about them. So, in today's somatic meditation, we're going to use regenerating images in memory to drop below the surface of our thoughts and connect more with the feelings in our bodies in a way that allows us to actually understand and shift those feelings. We're also going to compassionately explore how overthinking serves a self-protective function within our psyche. When we understand our overthinking in this way, we can begin to effectively shift away from being an overthinker and begin to release all of the stress and anxiety that comes with constant overthinking. Honestly, the vast majority of the patterns in our lives that cause us pain, like overthinking, perfectionism, self-criticism, and self-sabotage, are simply misguided attempts at self-regulation and/or self-protection. And learning to perceive them as such and work with the emotions and wounds at their roots is the most powerful part of our healing journey. If you'd like to learn more about this holistic and compassionate healing paradigm, I'm teaching a free training next month called The Secret Wisdom of Your Triggers. It's an incredibly powerful 75-minute training that will help you learn to heal your core issues in a loving and integrated way. I'd love for you to join me. You can enroll at the link in the show notes. Now let's dive into this somatic meditation to stop being an overthinker. Go ahead and find a time and a space where it's safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes and turn your awareness within. And with your eyes closed, begin to bring your awareness to your breath. So notice that you can feel the air moving in and out through your nostrils. And you can feel your chest and tummy rising and falling rhythmically with every inhale and every exhale. Imagining that you can breathe in clean, healing energy from the universe with every inhale. And with every exhale, you just release tension from a deeper and deeper place within, till eventually you're releasing tension all the way from your toes. Imagining on your next breath that you could breathe in through your heart and out through your belly button. Imagining that you could feel the space or the distance between your heart and your belly button. Imagining that you could breathe in through your throat and out through your shoulders. Again, feeling the space or the distance between your throat and your shoulders. Breathing in through your right ear and out through your left elbow. Feeling the space or the distance between those 2 points. Breathing in through your left ear and out through your right elbow. Feeling the space and the distance. Imagining that you could breathe in through your knees and out through the soles of your feet. Again, feeling the space or the distance. And then just breathing in and out through your heart. So, as we do this somatic meditation to stop being an overthinker, using regenerating images in memory, all of your answers are going to spontaneously arise from your deep inner wisdom through your imagination. They may show up as words, images, thoughts, memories, feelings, and we're just going to welcome whatever shows up, no matter how it shows up. And there's no way to do this wrong. So following your next breath deep into the core of your being, begin to notice what it feels like when you're overthinking. So maybe you were overthinking right before we started the breathing. Maybe you're overthinking now. Or maybe you can bring forward a memory of a time when you were overthinking so you can begin to notice how it actually feels in your body when you're overthinking. So bringing the overthinking to mind and begin to notice how that feels in your body. Where do you notice in your body the feelings the most right now? Is the feeling you notice most more on the right or the left? Or maybe it's centralized, or maybe it's everywhere. Is it more deep or superficial? Is it moving or still? How big is this feeling in your body, or how much space does it take up within or around you? Noticing the height, width, thickness, and shape of this feeling. What color is this feeling? Does it have a quality or a texture or a temperature? And just know that it's okay, even if you don't have answers to all of these questions. These questions are just meant to help you get curious, go a little deeper, feel a little more, but it's okay. You may not have answers to all of them. Just ask the questions and notice whatever you notice. So again, just noticing whatever you're noticing about this feeling that happens in your body when you overthink. And we're going to label this, all of this that you just noticed, the color, the shape, the location, the feeling. We're going to label this your overthinking part, right? So it's the part of your consciousness that is trying to protect you for some reason by overthinking. So taking a breath and just noticing that part in its fullness. And we're going to get curious about this part. So perhaps see if you can soften a little bit as you pay attention to this part. Maybe you can draw closer to it a little bit within your body. And before we work with this part anymore, your imagination is going to call forward a virtual resource. And a virtual resource is like a guide or an angel or a friend or an animal. It's really anyone or anything that is safe, loving, and powerful. So just notice who shows up for you right now. Who shows up to be your virtual resource. And feel what it's like to have this virtual resource here with you right now. And if no one is showing up for you to be your virtual resource, just know that you're surrounded by a circle of guardians who will be here with you every step of this journey. So taking a breath, knowing that your virtual resource and/or your circle of guardians are here with you every step of the way, and they can provide guidance or support or protection at any point should you need any of that. And then bringing your awareness back to that overthinking part, right? The color, the shape, the texture, everything that you noticed before. And with your virtual resource or your circle of guardians with you every step of the way, your imagination is going to take your awareness into that overthinking part. It's like you become the overthinking part. You become the color, the shape, the feeling. Surrendering into it. You know what this overthinking part knows. You feel what it feels. And you look out through its perspective. So being this overthinking part, being the color and the shape, feeling whatever you're feeling, you're gonna finish the following sentences speaking as the overthinking part. So just letting your words come forward, speaking as the overthinking part, you're just gonna say, what it's like to be me is. Breathing and feeling. Speaking as the overthinking part, you're just going to say, what I believe about the world is. Breathing and feeling. Surrendering even more into the overthinking part. And speaking as the overthinking part, you're just going to say, what's most vulnerable to me deep down is. Breathing and feeling, letting your words come forward. Speaking as the overthinking part, you're going to finish this sentence. Why I'm overthinking is. Breathing and feeling. And as the overthinking part, finish this sentence. What I'm afraid would happen if I stopped overthinking it. Breathing and feeling, finishing this sentence as the overthinking part. What I really want or need right now is. feeling and speaking as this overthinking part, finishing this sentence. What I'd rather do if I didn't have to overthink all the time is. Breathing and speaking as the overthinking part, you're just going to say how it feels to say all of this is. And then just speaking anything else that wants to be spoken from this overthinking part until that feels complete. When that feels complete, your imagination is going to take your awareness out of this overthinking part and back into the wholeness and totality of you. Taking a breath and landing back in your whole self, into all parts of you. And as your whole self, you're going to look at that overthinking part and receive a stream of colored energy from the overthinking part, representing everything it just shared. Noticing the color and the quality of that stream of colored energy. And as your whole self, noticing where you receive that energy in your body first. Fully receiving all of that energy from the overthinking part. And then speaking as your whole self back to the overthinking part, you're just going to finish the following sentences. So as your whole self, you're just going to say, what I heard from you or what I received from you is. Breathing, speaking as your whole self, you're just going to say, what it's like for me to hear or receive this from you is. Breathing and feeling, speaking as your whole self back to the overthinking part, you're going to finish this sentence. What I want to say to you is. Breathing, speaking as your whole self back to this overthinking part, you're just going to say, what I'm realizing now that I didn't realize before is. Breathing, feeling, speaking as your whole self, you're just going to say how it feels to realize all of this is. And then just speaking anything else that wants to be spoken from your whole self to the overthinking part until that feels complete. And when that feels complete, your imagination is going to take your awareness back into the overthinking part one more time. So back into that color, that location, that shape, and it may have changed. It may look or feel different, or it may not have, but it doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to become the overthinking part in this moment. Again, feeling what it feels, knowing what it knows, and looking out through its perspective. Now, as this overthinking part, you're going to look back at your whole self and receive a stream of colored energy from your whole self, representing everything your whole self just shared with you. Noticing the color and the quality of that stream of colored energy. And noticing as the overthinking part where you receive the stream of colored energy in your body first. Just fully receiving it. Now, as the overthinking part, you're going to speak back to your whole self, and you're just going to say, whole self, what I heard from you or what I received from you is. Breathing, going even deeper, and as the overthinking part, you're going to speak back to your whole self and just say, whole self, how it feels to hear this and receive this from you is. Breathing and feeling, speaking as the overthinking part back to your whole self, you're going to finish this sentence. What I understand now that I didn't understand before is. feeling going even deeper, speaking as the overthinking part back to your whole self. You're just going to say how it feels to understand this is. And then speaking anything else that wants to be spoken from this overthinking part back to your whole self until that feels complete. And when that feels complete, your imagination takes your awareness out of the overthinking part and back into the wholeness and totality of you, one final time. Taking a breath and landing in your whole self. And really feel within what has shifted. How do you feel different from when we started? And how do you see things different from when we started? What do you understand about your tendency to overthink? And what do you understand about the emotions that live below your tendency to overthink? Know that all of the realizations that you've had and all of the shifts that you've experienced are all a part of you now. They're a part of your cells and your body. They're understood by your heart and your mind. And as you walk forward in life, you're going to notice the ripples of this. You're going to notice that you have a different perception and a different emotional response. You're going to walk forward with this new, more compassionate understanding of your overthinking part. Now, just ask your body if there's anything else it needs before we bring this to a close. And just listen for an answer. There may be something that your body wants that you could take care of right now. There may be something that your body wants or needs that you can take care of later. Or maybe there's nothing. Maybe there's nothing else that your body wants or needs. When you're ready, your unconscious mind is going to let you know that all of this is fully integrated into your cellular memory and your emotional memory by bringing full feeling and weight back into your arms and legs, fingers and toes, and spontaneously opening your eyes. Great work. So, how was that somatic meditation to stop being an overthinker for you? How do you feel now? And what do you understand now that you didn't understand before? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me today. And remember that you're invited to enroll in my upcoming free training, The Secret Wisdom of Your Triggers, to gain profound insights into the conflicts and repeating patterns in your life and how to shift them for good. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to the podcast and also rate and review it on Apple Podcasts or rate it on Spotify. You could also send this episode to a friend you think might enjoy it. And don't forget to join me every Friday on this beautiful journey out of your head and into your more embodied and authentic self.